You ever watch somebody smile right in your face, while they hold the match that's meant to burn your whole world down? Because that's exactly what my Aunt Lorraine did to me. I walked into her backyard and saw my entire wedding dress, the dress I saved for, prayed over, and protected like a newborn, curling up in orange flames while she hummed like she was at choir rehearsal. But the thing about fire? Once it starts, it spreads. And baby, the secret she'd been hiding for 22 years? Oh, it went up in flames right after. Before I tell you how a burned wedding dress turned into the biggest family revelation this side of South Carolina, go ahead and hit subscribe. If you believe in justice served with a warm smile and a little Holy Ghost timing, drop a like. And tell me in the comments. Have you ever had a family member sabotage you out of pure jealousy? 'Cause baby, this one right here? This is textbook. Now let me start from the beginning, so you understand why this cuts so deep. I'm a 32-year-old nurse from Charleston, South Carolina. Raised by my mama, my grandma, and the one woman who made me believe in strong, church-going black women, Aunt Lorraine. At least, that's who I thought she was. Lorraine was my mama's older sister, but she acted like the matriarch of the entire family, pearls, pressed curls, and that "don't talk back to me, baby" tone she mastered at age 16. She loved applause. She loved control. She loved attention. And Lord knows, she wanted me to stay under her thumb. But things changed the day I met Marcus. Marcus was a gentle, steady man, tall, caramel-skinned, smelled like sandalwood and responsibility. We met at the hospital when his mama was admitted for a heart condition. Every time I came to check vitals, he'd stand up like a gentleman and ask, "You need anything, ma'am?" And baby, respect is sexy. 6 months later, we were inseparable. A year later, he proposed under the angel oak tree. I cried so hard the tourists started taking pictures. The day I showed Aunt Lorraine my engagement ring, she paused, squinted, and said, Big rings don't guarantee big husbands." I laughed it off. Because she always had comments, attitude was her love language. But the shift started small. She'd talk over me every time we discussed the wedding. She told my mama, "Y'all moving too fast." She told my cousins, "Hope this man ain't using her to get a green card." I said, "Lorraine, he's from Boston." She said, "Well, they can pretend." Everything I did, she criticized. The venue was too fancy. My dress was too plain. My bridesmaids too modern. My colors too springy, in spring. Then, she started forgetting things. Like her promise to help me pick up decor. Like the deposit she said she paid, but didn't. Like the RSVP she lost. But I still loved her. I still wanted her there. I still believed family meant work it out. Until the day everything snapped. My dream dress at a small bridal boutique, cream satin, hand-beaded bodice, a train that flowed like melted butter. Price tag? $2,300. It was the most I'd ever spent on myself. I worked overtime shifts for months, saving every dime. And Aunt Lorraine knew that. She said, "Why you wasting money? Nobody gon' be looking at you once your man start crying at the altar." But when I put that dress on, I felt holy. I felt chosen. I felt like God himself said, "Baby, you deserve." I scheduled the final fitting 2 weeks before the wedding. That morning, Lorraine texted me. "Come by my place. I want to see the dress in person." I should have felt red flags. But family blinds you. But I thought maybe she was grilling. Until I heard her humming, "Blessed Assurance," and saw the flicker. I stepped into the backyard. And froze. My wedding dress was on fire. fully engulfed. Flames eating the train like it was starved. I screamed, "Aunt Lorraine, what are you doing?" She didn't even turn around. She said, "Oh, don't act like that. That dress wasn't right for you. You'll thank me later." My whole body trembled. I felt heat rise behind my eyes, not from the fire. From betrayal. I grabbed the hose, but she yanked it from my hands. "Stop it. I'm helping you. That dress was tacky. And you're not ready to marry anybody." My voice cracked. "Why? Why would you do this to me?" She finally looked at me, cold, condescending. "Because you don't deserve the life you're trying to jump into." Now here's where the story turns. Lorraine thought I was weak. She thought I'd cry, fall apart, cancel the wedding. But what she didn't know was, I had something on her. Something she prayed every night no one would find out. 22 years ago, when I was about 10, I overheard a conversation. Back then, I thought it was gossip. But as an adult, I realized. Aunt Lorraine had a child she gave away. A secret baby nobody knew about. She'd gotten pregnant at 17. My granddaddy sent her to visit relatives in Alabama for a summer. She came back in the fall slim, polished, and silent. The family had its suspicions. But Lorraine shut them down. She built her whole adult identity on being the perfect churchwoman, the perfect sister, the perfect role model, the perfect elder. A hidden child would destroy that image. And the one thing my aunt feared more than anything on earth was humiliation. As the dress burned, something in me cracked. But it wasn't my spirit. It was my restraint. She thought she was the only one who could play dirty. Baby, she forgot who raised me. My mama taught me how to pray and plot. I said nothing. Not a tear. Not a scream. I quietly walked out her backyard, got in my car, and drove home. Marcus met me at the door, his face falling when he saw the smoke smell sticking to my clothes. "My God, baby, what happened?" I whispered. It's time to teach my aunt what fire really feels like. Now, I wasn't about to do anything illegal. Or violent. Or anything that'd put my wedding, or my freedom, in danger. But I knew my aunt's weakness. Reputation. Status. Respectability. The black church community in Charleston? Baby, they don't play. And my aunt was a deacon's wife, choir president, and self-appointed saint. So I made one phone call. To her church's administrative assistant, Miss Rhonda. The one who knows everybody's business. "Hey Miss Rhonda, it's me. You got a moment?" She said, "Always, baby." "What's wrong?" "Did you know my Aunt Lorraine had a child at 17? Silence. Then. "No. But I know who needs to." I didn't show up to church that Sunday. But everybody else did. Including the entire women's ministry. During announcements, Miss Rhonda stood up and said, "We have a special request for testimonies from parents who've endured hard journeys and want to encourage our young mothers." Then she added, "And we would especially appreciate hearing from Sister Lorraine, who understands this path firsthand." Aunt Lorraine froze mid-inhale. Her eyes went wide. She looked around like somebody slapped her with a Bible. Then whispers began. You know the kind. Church whispers. The "Oh Lord, is it true?" whispers. Deacon wives leaned in. Choir members stared. Even the pastor paused. I wasn't there, but 7 people texted me live updates. Girl, she turning red. She sweating through her silk blouse. She about to faint. She walked out the church. Her perfect image? Ashes. Just like my dress. She called me 17 times that afternoon. I didn't answer. Next day, she showed up at my mama's house, slamming on the door. When I opened it, her face was streaked with mascara. "How could you?" she spat. I said quietly. "How could you?" She tried apologizing, blaming stress, jealousy, fear of losing control. But I wasn't hearing it. "You burned the one thing I cherished," I said. "So I revealed the one thing you cherished. Balance." She whispered, "You ruined my reputation." I stepped closer and said in my calmest voice, "And you ruined my wedding dress." She started crying again, begging me not to tell anyone else. I shrugged. I didn't tell anyone. I just told a woman who tells everyone. My dress was gone. But my spirit wasn't. My bridesmaids chipped in and bought me a new gown, simpler but beautiful. Marcus stood at the altar looking at me like I was a whole miracle. And baby, that wedding was joy from start to finish. Everyone danced. My mama cried. Marcus's family hugged me like I was theirs forever. Aunt Lorraine? She wasn't invited. But I heard she watched the live stream from her couch. And cried the whole time. See, revenge doesn't have to be cruel. It just has to be balanced. Measured. Fair. I didn't ruin her life. I didn't lie on her. I didn't hurt her physically. I just showed her what it feels like when someone takes something precious from you without permission. She stole my dress. I exposed her lie. Both burned. But only one of us learned. Aunt Lorraine burned my wedding dress to keep control over my life. So I burned the image she worshipped more than God himself. Her reputation. By letting the right person know her 22-year secret, the truth spread through the church like wildfire. Just like she intended with my dress. Except this time, my fire landed exactly where it was meant to. Her life wasn't destroyed. Just humbled. But mine? My life became lighter. Freer. Married to a good man, wearing a dress bought with love, not control. Sometimes family ain't blood. Sometimes family is the people who love you enough to help rebuild what somebody tried to burn. And sometimes, the only way to stop a fire is to start one of your own. Just a smarter one. If that story lit you up like it did me, go ahead and hit like. Subscribe for more auntie-style justice. And tell me in the comments, what's the worst thing a family member ever did before a big life event? 'Cause I know some of y'all got stories that'll make mine look like a bedtime prayer.